Welcome to this installation of my hydro turbine installation series. Here you can see that I'm cleaning out around the culvert that I'm trying to find that is next to where the turbine will sit. I want to place the turbine as low as possible in the ditch so that I can increase the head pressure as much as possible and develop the maximum amount of power that I can from this hillside. This entire ditch is filled with trash, so a large part of this project is just digging out the trash. You may not have known it, but at my previous property where the water wheel was built, that pond was full of trash also, and I removed a whole bunch of it. Trash including old tarps, part of a grill, and even a lead-acid battery minus the plastic. I don't know what happened to the plastic. Maybe it was one of the old lead-acid batteries that was in a wood box. I don't know, it was just lead plates sitting in the middle of the pond. Who would do that?
I'm having a heck of a time finding the culvert. So way over there, beside that oak tree, there's a culvert, and it runs all the way along here. And it picks up the water from the stream, this stream here, and dumps it in the ditch on the side of the property. And it's somewhere in here, or over there. I don't know. So I'm trying to find it with water, so I just have the spring open here, dumping water, and I'll see where it goes.
The spring water ended up being unhelpful, so enter the excavator. This is my father's excavator. He exclusively uses it for private projects, so it's not a for-hire machine. He bought it used a few years ago. It's a Yanmar VO20, which is a 5,000 pound machine, and he recently added a thumb to it, a hydraulic thumb you can see there, but the thumb's a little bit short. So that's something that we have to fix sometime in the future. Most of this is just pushing back brush and digging out a little bit around the culvert pipe to finally find it. And there's parts here where my father was concerned about me tipping forward on it because the blade was so low, but it felt extremely safe to me. I mean, okay, not necessarily safe, but very stable.
So I just have to keep digging until I find it.
At this point, my camera batteries were empty and my memory cards were full, so I stopped recording, and here's a jump cut to the next day.
I have the turbine pit dug out here. I hope it's big enough. I'm going to move a little bit so you can see some three-dimensional perspective. And then also worked on stairs going down. So if I start with my right foot, it all works out. And then, you know, there's the culvert pipe that all the water's going to drain out through in this ditch. And then there's a whole bunch of concrete that was dug out from where we're putting our shed. That's a different video. And the stairs go up about 3 feet. Not very high. There's just so much trash in here, and there's still some more trash. Like, I have to pull this out too. So, I pulled out 5 bags of trash from in here, and I'm sure there's some more buried still. We got the majority of it. And the turbine pit here, I dug down more than I need to for elevation reasons, but really I dug down more because there was no solid ground. I just had to keep going until I found solid ground. I've gotten some parts together for the turbine pit that I need to do like right now. For now the ditch is dry, but in a little bit it's going to start flowing water, and I don't want to be working in water while trying to do concrete work down in this hole. So I need to get that done like snappy. At first I had thought about doing, so like this is what is this? A drain cover. A drain cover in this, and then building some sort of trap. And then this would be in a pit. So imagine concrete around everything, and the concrete level would be about here. And this would be draining out to the culvert. I want a pit for multiple reasons, and a trap for, again, multiple reasons. Sound. I don't want sound to escape this pit because my bedroom is right behind the camera. The second one is windage. Windage is a term for, say you have a turbine spinning, water's hitting it in one spot, and there's air resistance. That's windage. But you can have air resistance or water resistance, water windage. If water's splashing up from the bottom and hitting the turbine where it shouldn't be, that'll slow it down and decrease your efficiency. The best way to absorb water is more water. So the water goes down into the pit that's full of water and gets absorbed, and it doesn't splash back up and slow down the turbine. So I need a pit. But doing this, I'd have to frame it out and do some more complex concrete work, and then figure out a way of mounting the turbine to the pit. And then I thought, ready-made pit. This is a catch basin kit, 12 by 12, so that's 1 foot square. And the plan is to have the drain coming off of this down to the culvert, and then another one here that will be for the turbine, what do I call it, the Penstock Dump. So if I want to dump water and bypass the turbine but keep the penstock flowing so it doesn't freeze, then that'll go into the separate entrance to this pit, because this pit has 2 holes. So one will be the drain, and the other will be for the dump. And then this lid here is removable, and I can screw the turbine right to the same spot that this lid is screwed on. And it has 4 holes around the perimeter, so that should be useful. Now, coming off of the turbine pit here, I'm going to have a trap again, but I can't use these because then it's too tall. So what I'm going to end up doing is I have these 45s. I'm going to have a little bit of 45 coming up and then another 45 going over to the drain there. And that should allow enough water to be trapped in this as a trap to also catch any splashback.
for bringing the Terran system into submission. Oppressive government and bringing uniform. 10,000. Number is clearly false. Don't let it trouble you. Concern, of course.
Okay, that's enough for one day. I had 10 bags of Quikrete, 80-pound bags. I used 8 of them, so 8 times 8, 640 pounds of Quikrete, plus water. So, I don't know, what, 800 pounds of concrete in there? And I'm doing this in 2 stages. First, I wanted to get that... I should stop putting my finger in the middle of the screen. I wanted to put the box in the bottom and get it leveled and squared up without having to deal with finished concrete. And I left at least 4 inches all the way around, so I'm gonna have at least a 4-inch pad with rebar, so it'll be a strong, proper pad. So the concrete that I used is effectively like fill material, essentially. I know it's kind of an expensive way to do it, but I use that fill material also to seal all the way around the form and then around the pipes in the box there too. So it serves a purpose, and it allows me to lock in things before I do the final top coat. And I realize it's going to be a cold joint, and that's okay. This isn't going to be structural really, it's, well, not at all structural. And then I have some concrete there, so I'm going to lay that concrete out down here as erosion prevention and just generally to make it look a little bit nicer. Well, I have rebar laid out and tied together. I know it's not like any sort of fancy pattern, but it should work. It's not going to be load bearing at all, and it should never, I hope never freeze. So it shouldn't have any frost movement either. And now I have to begin pouring concrete. Realize my head's in the shade. I hope you can see me. So here's the turbine pit. It's not done yet. I have to build the walls. I plan on doing that today. I have the materials in my truck behind me. And the plan here is the turbine will sit here in this drain box. And then if there's any leaks or if I need to dump the penstock, it can go down in this hole. So this is an auxiliary drain that should drain all of the area around the turbine itself, and water around the turbine should drain away from the turbine. At least that's how I kind of pitched it, and I hope it works. So I'm just going to turn this on a little bit. We'll see where the water goes. It looks like I didn't get enough of a valley on that side at least, and I can remedy that. I have a concrete grinder. Alright, looks like I need to pitch the concrete away a little bit more, so I guess I'll do that now before I get any of the block in. Because I want it to be dry around the pit, so if there's any leaks, the leaks go away from the turbine pit itself. At least that's my plan. I don't know what my reasoning is behind it, besides it sounds like a good idea. Now, I didn't plan it this way, but the size that I made it, if I leave an inch reveal all the way around, I can do 3 blocks and then a return, and 3 blocks and a return as a square, so I don't have to cut any block whatsoever. That's just the way it worked out. I should have, in hindsight, thought of this beforehand, but it worked out anyways. I have some Quikrete Tight S, my drill here, and of course we have spring water. Where else would I get water, right? Looks pretty good to me. The pros are probably going to say, hey Joe, it's harder to start with the small blocks, or whatever the heck these are called. Your mortar's probably mixed wrong. What else could be wrong? I don't know. All sorts of things could be wrong here. I'm not a mason. Alright, I think that's enough for this video. There's a bunch of things left to do with this turbine pit, but it's getting kind of long already. There's like, I'd say 3 major things that I have to do still. Everything in the bottom is good and done. I need to drill an entry hole on this side, which goes up the hill to the penstock, and that'll be for the penstock to come through. And then somewhere on probably this side over here, I'm gonna install and drill a hole for electrical conduit. And I think I'm gonna have all of my electrical hardware in the shed that I'm getting. That's another video. If the video is done by the time this video is uploaded, I'll have a link up there. And I'd like to give a shout out to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are fantastic. Especially a new donor that requested not to be named that's donating a lot of money. Thank you very much. And you know, those sort of things are helping me build this somewhat expensive project. Like just what you see here is probably $200 in materials and let's see, probably 3 full days of work for me. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money. I'd also like to give a shout out to my, I guess I'll give a shout out to people who buy things on my Amazon list. Any links I've placed in the description, because if you buy those things, then I get a little bit of a kickback, and that money helps offset some of these costs as well. And you don't have to pay anything besides buying the thing for yourself. I mean, I guess alternatively, you could buy something for me. That's an option too. Do whatever makes you happy. If you don't like Patreon or Amazon, you can also send me money through PayPal. Whatever. I was thinking about putting together some sort of merchandise that you could buy, like Teespring or was it Redbubble? I don't know. One of those companies that supplies t-shirts down below. But I'm not an artist, so if there's any of you that are like somewhat artistic and would want to send me some vector files that I can maybe be made into t-shirts, I would appreciate it, and maybe even send you a t-shirt for free. I think that'd be fantastic, a little bit of collaboration. For design, I was thinking something that's really simple, like water wheels are cool with a water wheel on it, and then Joe Malovich along the bottom or something. It could be anything. Turbines are cool. It could be a picture of the different types of turbines, like Pelton, Turgo, Banky, Crossflow, water wheel, overshot, undershot, breast shot. What else is there? Anybody who makes a turbine out of spoons or PVC pipe. Seth, I'm talking to you. Anyways, and a little bit of news. Look forward to another, it's not really a collaboration video, it's a showcase video with a local who I met. You'll know who you are because I know you watch this channel, and we'll go over what he has going on. So look forward to that video. If it's already done by the time you're watching this, there will be a link up there. And I'd like to wish you farewell. If you like this video, hit that like button. You can also hit that subscribe button. It's down there somewhere, so you don't miss future videos of mine in this series. And leave a comment showing me where I screwed up on this concrete block, because I suck at it, and I like comments showing constructive criticism. So I'll be looking for that, and I'll see you guys around.